Liverpool are pretty crap. That's where I'm going to start the intro here. Shouldn't be saying that after spending so much money on an already title-winning side, but we are where we are. It's a bordering crisis situation right now. I've called this here emergency stream, and I think that's what it is. I hate to say them words. I mean, given the quality of the players in our team, I'd say the lack of quality for some of the opposition teams who've come up against this year. You look at that Burnley team, like with respect to them, to only do them 1-0 and to kind of scrape past them, it's a big concern. We've done that multiple times this season, scoring in the last minute, getting a random goal just to save. People are like holding all their hanging all the hats, I guess, on the random goals at the end and not the performances, and it's caught up with us. I've been saying this for weeks and weeks. Results don't mean anything at this stage of the season. Performances do. You need to put in a good performance to then get a result, not the other way around. Say, for example, right, we have a game at Nottingham Forest, right? Nottingham Forest, our next game, I think. Say we win the game 1-0, but we play awfully, but we scrape a 1-0 win. The week after that, are you going, oh, can't wait for that week after? Played really well? No, we didn't. Yeah, we won 1-0, but it means nothing. You can't take that performance into the next week. You can't, therefore, gain momentum and win more games. If we draw with Forest and put in a really great performance, you go, it was a shame about that result there, but, you know, performance-wise, I'm buzzing for the next week. And hopefully you can put some games back together. I am live on YouTube right now. Please do get involved. The camera quality is miles better than that crap. Listen, there's so much to talk about. I've even got a flashcard with all my problems with Liverpool right now. And I don't know where to start. I'm going to start with number one. And I've simply just written down formation. I think it's as simple as that. I think it's as black and white, as yes and no as that. I don't think the 4-2-3-1's right for us, and I don't think it has been for about 6 months. Yet we still continue to play it. And the problem for me, with the 4-2-3-1, we signed Florian Wirtz for like a record fee. Therefore, you have to play him. I don't care where you play him. He's an attacking midfield player. He's a left. Someone said all problems fit on one flashcard. Just about, mate. Just about. You have to play Wirtz. You've spent that much money now. That's clear intent based. Like, you know, you got to play this guy. You can't play him in a 4-3-3. And if you do, he's not playing in the middle three. He's playing off the left. I would play a 4-3-3. I'd say that for a few months now. But where do you play Wirtz? You're therefore isolating Wirtz if you change from the 4-2-3-1. You're therefore saying, right, your position now is only off the left. And some would argue that's not his best position, contrary to his best performance this year, being Real Madrid, you've got to say. So I'd go 4-3-3. I think the best way to start this vid is almost to say what my team should be. I'd love to let me know, please, in the comments right now. What would your team be? Your ideal starting 11. I'm going to come on to this back three nonsense as well, because I think it is nonsense. I think the back three talk is crazy, considering how few centre-backs we've got to cover, right? My team would be this, just so we're on the same page and so you know where I'm coming from. Mamardashvili for now is in goal. Bradley for now is at right back. Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson, back four. I would have Gravenberch in front. I would have a midfield three with him, of Szoboszlai and McAllister. I would have Gakpo off the left. I would have Chiesa off the right, and I would have Ekitike up front. That's the team I would play tomorrow. If we had a game tomorrow, that's the team I'm playing. I don't believe Salah's done enough to stay in the team. I don't believe Wirtz is doing enough to stay in this team. I think that's the case closed. I think that's where we are right now. Yeah, Wirtz is probably a better player than Gakpo, but right now he's not been. This season he's not been. So why is he in the team? He's in the team based on his valuation and his price tag. That's it. I want Wirtz to succeed as much as the next guy, and I think he can. I think he can be a world-class footballer. Talent-wise, given what he's done in past 2 or 3 seasons, the success with Leverkusen was one of the catalysts in them doing so. However, we've not seen it yet. He's yet to catch up to speed with the league, unlike his mate Ekitike, who's come from a kind of similar age, come from the same league as well, attacking player. He's at the ground running. Why has Wirtz not done it? I think a lot of Liverpool fans are trying to almost protect Florian Wirtz in that while he's still kind of getting used to the league. It's like, I'm calling bull on that at this point. It's fine saying that up until, I don't know, 5-6 games in. But at this point, surely you've got to expect a bit more here. And I'm not sitting here saying Wirtz has been a flop, far from it. He's had some really good games. You can clearly see that the talent that is in this guy. He's a fantastic footballer, and he is still young, and he has come to a new league. But we're at the point now where it's like, you kind of go and score a bit, go and score. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I know he set up chances for Salah. That chance was just such a massive miss. He had one for Szoboszlai as well. If both of those players score both of them goals, Wirtz then gets 2 assists, and people go, well, he is getting involved in the goals. I get that. It's out of his kind of hands. He set these players up and they've missed. That's not on him. But surely, you for that much money, you've got to kind of be making something happen yourself at this point. Listen, the jury's out on Florian Wirtz right now. I would love to sit here and say he's been fantastic and he's scored. Look at the 7-8 goals he scored, but it's not. That's not where we are right now. And we are trying to say, well, he had a good game there. He had some good touches in that game. For me, that's not what you spend this money for. And we're not getting what we bought right now. It's a big concern. And when you kind of tie that into Isak, a lot of the similar things there, you could just copy and paste for Alexander Isak. Again, a fantastic footballer, a world-class footballer. He's proven it before. He, at one point in his career, last year, was a world-class footballer, and it wasn't even nearly close. He's come to Liverpool, essentially taken the first few games as a pre-season because he missed his. Obviously, all the talk around Newcastle and the way that transfer saga went down. I understand why he's not settled straight away. I do get it. However, he's at a very good stage of his career. He's gone from a Premier League club to another Premier League club. In that regard, there's not many excuses there. Obviously, now he's picked up an injury. It's been a very disjointed start for Isak. There are maybe more variables as to why he's not started the way Wirtz has. But both of them, we've got to surely ask for more. I would love now, in the comments, please do give me a rating. And we'll start with Florian Wirtz. I've got loads on here. We're going to talk about that susceptibility from long balls. I don't think our fullbacks have been good enough. The over-reliance on Dominic Szoboszlai, Mo Salah's performances, Ekitike we're going to talk about as well, because it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Been some great players, some great performances, but I believe we can get more out of Ekitike. I want to talk Gakpo as well, among loads of other talking points. Please do get involved. I want to get into the comment section in a minute. I just want to kind of get off my chest what I'm thinking. I'd love you to get involved here. I'm live on YouTube, by the way, if you're on TikTok. Please get in here. The camera quality is way better. In the comments now, Wirtz, give me a rating. Based on what you've seen so far this season, forget Leverkusen, forget everything. Based on the price tag, what we paid for the guy, what are you rating him out of 10? Because I'd struggle to give him higher than a 6. I'm just going to say that now. Please get in the comments. Just write one number in the comments. I'd love to kind of gauge where we are here. 6.5, 6, 6. Let's get into the YouTube chat, because this is what it's about. This is the community we're trying to build here, you know what I mean? 5, 6. By the way, we're nearly at, we're at a big milestone. Was it 23k the other day? We're mental, mate. Absolutely nuts. Was it 22k? Bonkers. 5, 6, 7, 6.5. I think people saying 7 are very generous. The majority seem to say 6. I agree. I agree entirely. And I think you could really kind of echo them numbers with Isak. You could just copy and paste that chat there with Isak. Give me a rating for Isak, please, because, again, I'm struggling to go above a 6. I'm even lower. I'm probably down to a 5 with Isak so far from what I've seen. Again, factors in, he's very disjointed, and I get there's reasons to it. I just think I want a bit more at this point. And on the flip side, you go to Ekitike, a player, again, similar age, kind of coming from the same league as Wirtz. I'd give him an 8. At least, 8's the bottom line of Ekitike. He's been amazing. He's taken to the league like a duck to water, right? Hit the ground running straight away. First game, second game, goals straight away. And it's a completely different story. Ekitike, did you see that goal he scored for France the other day? Firstly, buzzing to see him score. I believe that was his first French goal for France, wearing the number 9 as well, which was nice to see. Did you see him pick the ball up deep, near the halfway line, run forward with the ball? I've done a TikTok on this, please go and watch it. Ran forward with the ball into the box, knocked it to Mbappe. Someone said Mbappe was on a hat-trick at the time. I don't know the scores, I don't know. And Mbappe laid it back to Ekitike and he finished it nicely. We are so obviously in our team lacking a player for Ekitike to bounce the ball off of, right? People saying Salah would have shot if he was where Mbappe was. Would have gone on his own and cleared the ground or whatever. I do disagree. I think it's very disrespectful on Mo Salah. This guy has proven year upon year he's got a great track record of setting his teammates up, getting 20 plus assists over all comps, you know what I mean? This is obviously a joke. However, you kind of get my point right now. I do feel like Salah might have gone on his own. A few chances. He came on against Frankfurt, we're 5-1 up there. He's on his own. Wirtz is ready for the ball to be squared. And Salah goes on his own. What was that other game as well? He goes on his own. It's like Man United, was it? So I get why people are saying that. I believe, and I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, we need to play either a 4-3-3 or a 2-up-top formation when Isak's fully fit. None of this let's just put Isak in because he's the best player. No. Don't play him when he's 6 out of 10 ready. Play him when he's ready. I believe we've rushed him back maybe too soon and played him in games we shouldn't have. For example, that cup game. It's like, okay, he's injured again here. Why did he play that game? So 4-4-2 for me works. I think Ekitike needs someone in front of him, someone to feed off of, someone to bounce off and combine off of. I think we've seen that Wirtz can be that in multiple multiple games this year. But the problem is, Wirtz ain't playing very well. Neither's Salah, neither's Isak. It's like, well, Ekitike kind of doing it all here. The over-reliance on this player is so obvious to see. See, it makes you think, well, hold on, what if all these players actually started playing well and singing the same tune? Imagine how good Ekitike would be then. On top of his already 8 out of 10, we could be looking at one of the best signings of the last 5-6 years at Liverpool in Ekitike. I do believe he can be that once everyone else starts booking their ideas up and playing like him. So there's my piece on Ekitike. I believe he's been fantastic this year. And I've titled this stream here Emergency Stream, and I believe it is that. However, there's some real positives. He's one. Gakpo's another. We'll talk about Gakpo later on. One of the most disrespected, over-hated players of my lifetime. I can't believe what I'm seeing with Gakpo. I want to kind of go to that formation again. I'm reading through the comments now. I really do appreciate you all. I'm going to be on here for a while, so please do get involved. Make yourself comfy. Leave a like if you are enjoying the stream. If you agree with anything I say, please do leave a like. It's the easiest way of pushing this vid out to reach more people, grow the community, and it means a lot. Thank you very much. If you're on TikTok, I'm on YouTube right now. I'm live. The quality's miles better, isn't it, guys? Know what I mean? Look at the chat. Yeah, the chat's going wild. No one actually messaged, but you get my point. I need to go to that formation again. So my team was, I said my team before, 4-3-3 makes so much sense on so many levels. We're conceding so many long balls, so many counter-attacks, and it's like you can keep playing the 4-2-3-1 and keep wondering why that's happening. Is there not a direct correlation between those two things? If you pack your midfield out, put an extra midfielder in there, surely you're going to win more midfield battles, give the ball away less often, and concede less goals. You've got to tighten it up. It's like if teams are really struggling, maybe you go to a 5-back, or you play a 5-3-2, or you stick a midfielder in there, an extra one, just to give some sort of solidity in that midfield, to bulk it up a bit. And I believe we need to do that, and we're about 6 months too late in doing that. It's almost like damage has been done. Yeah, you can play a 4-2-3-1. Are you getting the best out of Szoboszlai there? I don't know. I think you're getting some really great things out of Szoboszlai, and he's been our best player by miles. It leads me on to Dominic Szoboszlai. I think the body of my video here is going to be about the formation, the system, and off that we can kind of branch off to, we've done Ekitike. Let's talk about Szoboszlai. The over-reliance on this player is a joke. He's been our best player, and it's not even near. It's a bit of an insult, in fact, to kind of talk amongst ourselves here who's been Liverpool's best player, because it's not even close, is it? It's not even a nearly contest. Szoboszlai's been our best player by miles. He's been Hungary's best player by miles. All these players seem to be playing really well for their nation. Kirkes, for example, I think McAllister had some really good games for Argentina. And it's like, over the season, they've not particularly impressed for us. It's like, well, Szoboszlai's not been that. Szoboszlai's the man helping Hungary qualify for the World Cup. Obviously, not single-handedly. Hungary are a very good team in their own right. But Szoboszlai plays a massive role in that. Obviously, captain of the side. One of the youngest captains, I believe, ever in the Euros or something. This guy is just everything and more for club and country. But is his best position the number 10? I saw a great interview after, it must have been after a Champions League game, I think, and he was like, I'd rather play further back. Szoboszlai would rather play as a number 8, or a number, I assume he didn't mean number 6, he must have meant number 8. But I see entirely why he's saying that. I think he knows, it's not that he doesn't know how good he is. I think he's very aware how good he is, and everyone else is. But I think he's that kind of guy where he's not going to, I think he knows for the team he's best as a number 8. However, he's being played as a number 10. Therefore, he's going to say, yeah, well, just play me as a number 10 because he's that kind of guy. And he just wants to get on with it. And that's the most impressive thing, by the way. The reason I say that is because he played as a right back for 2 or 3 games and just got on with it. Not even just got on with it. That's like underplaying this. He was man of the match in 2 of those 3 games he played there. Against Newcastle, he was fantastic. Against Arsenal, he was amazing. This guy's very just tunnel vision, maybe very focused, disciplined. I think the way he's risen to both of those games was fantastic. That's exactly why I think he's just cracking on with this, playing at number 10. I don't think it's his favourite position. He said to us all it's not his best position. So I'd like to see him play as a number 8. And in a 4-3-3, you get that. You get 2 number 8s. You get McAllister or Jones in there with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. For me, they're the 2 non-negotiables. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, build the midfield around them. They play 85% of games this year. And I think you then separate between Jones and McAllister. You swap between them depending on who's fit, depending on form. I like what he was doing when he played Jones in that one game. Then he played him again. Then unfortunately he got injured. Then he played McAllister in one game. Then played him again. I like that. I think that's the way to go, right? I think teams get so kind of tied down. We did last year to play in the same midfield 3 or 2. Having 4 players in there, just obviously it makes it better, right? makes it better for everyone. In terms of rotation, in terms of legs, giving players a rest, for example, we're playing in, you'd like to think, going far in all competitions this year. I'd hope, touch wood. So having that option of McAllister or Jones is great for me. And again, we talk about positives here. We spoke about Ekitike. We've got to speak about Jones. Curtis Jones. I ranked all the Liverpool players the other day based on this season. I think I had Jones like 4th or 5th. Go and check the vid, it's out now. Maybe 6th. I had him really high. I thought, given the lack of game time, I think he's only played like 700 minutes-ish compared to some players who've played like, 1,500. But when he has played, not just started, by the way, when he's come on off the bench, his impact has been so noticeable. And when we are struggling, when we're failing to do the simple things well, i.e. pass the ball from one player to another player, i.e. keep the ball, create chances, just get a foot on the ball instead of it going end to end. You wonder why we're conceding long balls, because we're giving the ball away, giving them the ball, and they're pinging it over the top because we're out of place, because we're trying to do this all-action press thing. It's not working. Bringing Jones on, not only, as Megan says there, his work rate's insane. Firstly, off the ball he's great, but on the ball he keeps the thing better than anyone else. He does the simple things better than anyone else, and that's what we need in a time of turbulence like we've been in over the last few months. And is it a coincidence? I've been calling for Jones to come in the team because he's good at the simple things. He then comes in the team. He was one of our best players. That's no coincidence. He comes on off the bench. He's instantly one of our best players. It's so noticeable how simple he keeps things, yet effective he is at doing that, right? Jones, I put Jones 6th in my Liverpool list this year. Yeah, I don't take that back at all. I think that's entirely a fair valuation. If you had to rank all the Liverpool players this year based on pound for pound impact or how good they've been, so I had Szoboszlai first. I think I had Ekitike second, for example. Where would you rank Jones? He's 6 or 7. He's in the top 10, certainly. I'd have him 6th. And I've done the video. It's out now on YouTube. Please go and check it out. I'm live on YouTube, by the way, now, if you're interested. The camera quality is way better. I'd have him 6th. And it's a great option to have and a great rotational pairing, I guess, with McAllister. That's why I'd play a 4-3-3. I think off the ball you get more balance. I think you're committing, obviously, less men forward. Therefore, all it takes is one pass and they're through. Look at Man City last year. They conceded so many goals on the break. They're kind of built up in a back three. Most teams do that, kind of building up in a back three, give an extra +1 up front or on the wings. Man City now build up in a back four. And you wonder, they're playing quite well this year. Yeah, no crap. Wonder why. Because they're conceding less goals on the break, on counter. And Pep's dealt with that. We're doing it every game. We're conceding the goal on break every game. You can actually imagine. Okay, then, notification, we've just conceded there. How's it gone in? I'll tell you exactly how it's gone in. It's one of 2 ways or 3 ways. It's either a counter-attack, i.e., for example, Bournemouth. It's either a ball to the back post, i.e., Chelsea, Newcastle, or it's some messing about in the middle of the park, not winning your second or third duels. That's another one that, not winning duels. Look at that Palace game, last minute, when Ekitike scores. They won 2 flick-ons for that goal. We're just obviously not winning it, but it's them second balls in midfield. They're the 3 ways they score goals. I feel quite confident, kind of. Actually, I don't really. I don't really. Yeah, I don't think any part of our game is entirely watertight right now. I think teams are eyeing up maybe our left back right now in terms of Robertson being not the player he used to be. Obviously, he's playing a lot of games right now because Kirk is clearly interested. So you could look at that left-hand side for us as a place to target. You could look at the right-hand side for us. Look at what Doku did to Bradley, an obvious target there. Just so isolated at times with Konate having a shaky start. You could target Konate, which every team does. Have you noticed every team pins their striker up against Konate, and it's just such an obvious bit of analysis. Firstly, why would you put your striker up against Van Dijk? Why would you put Mateta, Gyökeres, Anthony Gordon when he played there for Newcastle and he got sent off? Why would you put them against Van Dijk? You're obviously going to go for Konate. But then Konate is significantly worse than Van Dijk. That's not me saying Konate is a bad player. I don't think that. I think he's had a bad start. Don't think he's a bad player. But he is a worse footballer than Van Dijk. And you wonder why everyone's targeting him. Okay, then, so what can we do to combat that? Well, we can't just make Konate better overnight. We can't just... What you could do is, you could tell your right back to chill out in terms of where he gets forward and keep him further back, tuck him in, because all them long balls over the top are not helping. You could put a bit of protection in front of him and shield him from them long balls, from being directly targeted, I guess. You put another midfielder in there, like I've been calling out for a number 6, a Gravenberch, just to sit there and hold. I think Konate would finally be less exposed. I think you could also tell Konate, by the way, 2 things. 1, stepping up into midfield to win the ball and try and cut it out at source. Van Dijk don't do that, and the time he did do that was Man United, and they scored a goal. You know what I mean? We can't do that in our team. I get we're playing high press and all, like let's win the ball back. No, your centre backs don't do that in my team. In fact, I'm not the coach ultimately. None of us are. But if I was managing a team, I'd tell my centre backs to stand there, not jump up like Konate keeps doing. I'd also tell him stop frigging passing the ball long. And that's such an obvious observation there. Who are our? If you had to give a top 3, think about it now. Liverpool's top 3 long passes, passes of the ball long. Who's best at going long? It's maybe even Alisson, it's Szoboszlai, and it's Van Dijk. They're the only 3 players who do it in our side. Bradley don't do it. Frimpong don't do it. Robertson, Kirkes. Konate don't do it. He shouldn't do it, yet he does. He does it every game. Konate you can actually visualise it, can't you? In fact, I can't remember who it was against. Was it Man United this year? Man United or Arsenal, he made a fantastic pass. I think it was Man United. First half. You know what pass I'm thinking, don't you? Great ball. But it's like, he's been here however long. That's his best pass in 4 years, 5 years. It's not great, that, is it? So I'd tell him to stop giving the ball away. I agree with that. There you go, people agree, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think this is a big point to make as well, LFC fan 626. Konate, I don't know where his head's at. I would assume from his performances and his form, his head's not entirely in it at the moment. Obviously, the Real Madrid talks were lively during the summer. I think he wanted a bit more money than Liverpool were willing to give him. If he's doing these, if he's willing to not, ultimately we know what Konate is capable of. If he's not willing to rise to that, maybe not willing, but if he's not gonna rise to that and show what he can do, I think maybe Real Madrid is the right option. To be honest with you, if his head's clearly not in it. Because there has to be a correlation, right? His worst ever season for Liverpool, right now, it's probably shaping up to be this season. It just so happens that's the season that come off the back of contract talk all summer. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Real Madrid going to take him? Is that a coincidence? I think not. Obviously, there's other factors. No one else particularly in the team is playing that well either. So he's surrounded by players not playing very well. Doesn't help. Again, he's getting targeted every game. Not just him, but his side. Bradley's getting targeted when he plays. I think he's the kind of character and player to kind of bounce back and step up. He's proven it before when he had some turbulent patches, maybe 1 or 2 over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and he has stepped up. There was a point last year I thought Konate was better than Van Dijk for about 2 or 3 month period. I thought he had a really good 2 or 3 months. But then you look at some mistakes last year, like that Wolves one where he's trying to shield the ball out and he just gets pickpocketed, right? Konate's either, and someone put it really well, it's like, he's either a 9 or a 4. Konate, just give me a 7 out of 10 performance. But that's never good, that's not sustainable, right? You can't put back-to-back performances together if you give me a 9 and a 4. There's no 7, like Mark Gahey, arguably Mark Gahey, right, is less 9 out of 10 in more games. I think Konate over the season, might be a hot take this, I think Konate has more 9 out of 10 games than Gahey. However, I think Gahey has miles less 4 out of 10 games, you know what I mean? Konate's ceiling's probably higher, but I think his floor's so much lower, it evens it out. But Gahey is just such a consistent footballer. He's a 7 out of 10 every game, 7, 8 out of 10. And I think that, I've written down on my little flashcard here, I don't want to miss anything. That is such a massive. That's just so significant, right? That Gahey one. When I was on a stream. I was on a stream when that all fell through. And you look back now, people saying let's play back 3, let's play back. Well, yeah, with Robertson tucking in, with Endo dropping back, with Gomez playing who can hardly play. You know, you can't play back 3. And if we did sign Mark Gahey, I believe right now we'd be playing back 3. Someone just said it. Someone keeps saying in here, you're from Sheffield. If you're going to put something like that, mate, at least get it right. Blocks, you utter weirdo. Sheffield. Come on, man, get it right. I would love Bastoni. Yeah, that's been livening up, isn't it? That Bastoni talk. Also, who's the other player we've been in for? I don't know who it is. What have I got on my flashcard? Oh, fullbacks. I'm just going to get my drink over here. One second. Fullbacks. I can't be asked talking about him, to be honest with you. Okay, then here we go. Who's been our best fullback this year? Let me know in the comments, please. Leave a like as well. If you're not already, please do. It really does support the channel. Thank you very much. I'm live on YouTube. You're there, that's there. So please do get involved on YouTube. The camera quality is miles better. You can also get involved in chat as well, which is a really cool feature on here. So I think our best fullback this year has been Robertson, and a lot of people agree. Marlon, mate, I hope you're well. Debon, I hope you're well. Noah, I hope you're well. Eliza, I hope you're well as well. Some very familiar names in it. Robbo, and I think, how did you become a Liverpool fan? My dad's a Liverpool fan. That's why. It has been Robertson. And if you'd have told me at the start of the season, George, among Bradley, Frimpong and Kirkes, 2 new signings, by the way. Kirkes arguably the best of last year in the whole league, and Bradley had a phenomenal year. Frimpong come off the back of a title-winning season not long ago. George, who's going to be our best fullback this year coming? Is it going to be them? Or is it going to be a player who's apparently washed or finished or meant to go to Atletico Madrid in summer? I'm probably going to go one of them. But it's Robertson. It just is. You wouldn't even... You can't even believe that, right? Credit to him. That's a really good thing. Obviously for him, he's been fantastic. Maybe not fantastic. That's a bit far. He's been good. He has been good. And I asked the question there, who's been our best fullback? And it's a very low kind of barrier to entry there. I could probably be in top 4. You know what I mean? I think Kirk is obviously reflected by him being dropped from the side, has really struggled this year. Bradley has been sharing a lot of the game time with Frimpong. When Bradley has played, he's been very much okay. I think he's had more bad games than good. The biggest game was obviously Real Madrid. It was fantastic. That was the best individual performance from a fullback this year for us. But then it's almost immediately kind of counteracted by that Man City performance, and he was the worst player on the pitch by a country mile. Well, one of them. Maybe Canate. So it's like, well, hold on. Maybe Frimpong's been the more steady, but even then, he's not really played much. He's not played like 2 games in a row, it feels like. Atletico Madrid was probably his best game. So we've got... Yeah, someone says if Szoboszlai, like, arguably our best fullback this year is a midfield player. Like, what the hell? Arguably our best fullback this year been Calvin Ramsey, based on 1 game, you know what I mean? So it's a real issue, fullbacks, and I get entirely why people are saying play a back 3. And it's a real shame we don't have another centre-half to do it. Maybe you could tuck Robertson in and play Gomez or Endo, like Gravenberch dropping him back, but it's not ideal. But I get why you're thinking it. Because then you get your fullbacks further forward. Excuse me, sorry. Kirkes wants to get forward. Frimpong he's a right wing-back. He's not a right-back, really. He wants to get forward and impact the game. Get the assists, get the goals, maybe, or impact the scoreline in a positive way. Kirkes then come to Liverpool to tuck in a back 3. When he watched us last season, Kirkes, I imagine he did, he'll have gone, right, this is a bit of me, this. Getting forward like that, you're joking. Right up my street. Coming from Bournemouth, who are like this all-action team. I believe last year, I know Gvardiol played centre-half for a bit, but in the first half of the season when he played left-back, Kirkes was the second furthest left-back up the pitch in terms of resting position, only second to Gvardiol at Man City in terms of being high up. So Kirkes came from a pretty similar, there are definitely differences, but in terms of that team wanting to win the ball high up the pitch and suffocate teams, Bournemouth under Iraola are one of the best at doing that, right? And Kirkes, like that transition, you think, well, he's coming from the same league. It shouldn't be too bad and noticeable, but it has been. That's been a real issue for me. Certainly an easier transition than Frimpong, who is, well, he's come from a different league, I guess, which is a immediate noticeable point. We've had a donation here from Trees Are Cool. That's such an interesting name. Thank you very much. Why do you support Liverpool? Family ties. Thank you for the $1.99. Just my dad supports them. My dad supported Liverpool, or does support Liverpool. That's all I've known, really. Literally all I've known since I was a kid. I found my first ever Liverpool shirt the other day. It was like, I put it on here, it was like that big. It was, must have been the season of Andy Carroll. That season with Standard Chartered, the white font. I don't know who were making that kit then, but yeah, that was my first one. There you go. Thank you for the donation. What do we talk? I mean, let me check my flashcard here. Guys, I'm reading comments out on the YouTube, so please do get involved. It's miles better quality on it. We're trying to grow this community. If you are new, by the way, do subscribe. If you're not already subscribing and you kind of thought you were, go down there and check right now if you are subscribing. If not, please get involved. I mean, we could go back to the positives, and I think we should, because it's pretty annoying talking about negatives here. I like the international break being now, and I've said that every single time it's happened. We've had 3 international breaks in, 3 months? And every single one I've gone, God, I'm glad to see the back of that Premier League season. Thank God, international break. Let me watch Elliot Anderson. You know what I mean? But, like, oh my, right, we'll talk about some positives. A positive. I believe Gakpo has been one. I do believe that. Let me know your thoughts on Gakpo in the comments. I think he's the most overhated footballer in the league. Honestly, certainly Liverpool. Greetings as an Argentinian. Unreal. Come on, you ruined it a bit there, mate, unfortunately, but hello. Gakpo, talk to me. I believe he's been our best winger this season, and it's not even really close. I mean, it probably has been Chiesa if we're doing pound for pound. Goal to minute, whatever you want to say. But in the games Gakpo's been playing, I think he's been so effective. And he is one of the most efficient footballers we've got right now. People are very quick to... I mean, scapegoat's one word. I think scapegoat is the right word as well. Like, every team has a scapegoat. Even if you're frigging winning, like, every team has a football, the nature of football. It was Diaz, it was Nunez, and now both of them have left. It has to be an attacker. It's probably starting to be Salah in recent games, but it's not going to be new signings, or at least not for a while, so it's going to be Gakpo. And it's kind of the old guard, if you like. He's been here prior to the new signings coming in. He makes an easy scapegoat. And seeing as Gakpo's very one-dimensional, he's very one-trick pony, if you like, which I do believe are fair criticisms of Gakpo. Just because I think I really rate him doesn't mean they're not. Doesn't mean I disagree with them. I do agree with them. Criticisms are very fair. He does cut in on his right foot too much. He's very, as I say, one-dimensional. I'd like to see him take a man on the outside, beat his fullback on with a bit of pace. Does he have that pace to do it, like a Doku or like a Semenyo or an Njai? I don't know. I believe he's been better than that this season. Like, people talk about him being one-dimensional, but at the same time, whilst that sounds like a criticism, it's not really, because he's having a lot of success from that. Salah's not having shots on goal. Gakpo is, yet Salah's a better player because he's more variance. What? Gakpo's very good at it, what he does. If he wasn't good at it, do you think he'd keep doing it? No. He clearly is good at it. And you look at fullbacks, like, we're all near saying, you know, he's one-dimensional and he needs to get a plan B, like a different route to goal. Fullbacks aren't stopping it. Surely if we're thinking it, then fullbacks, right-backs in the league are also thinking it. They ain't stopping Gakpo cutting in. The way Gakpo loses the ball is by him shooting and missing. It's not him getting tackled as such, like Salah did against Man City with Nico O'Reilly. Every time he had him there. Listen, Gakpo's had really poor games this year. That's some poor games. Was it Chelsea really bad? Villa, I think we beat them there. The team were great, but he was probably our worst player in that game. We looked a bit off it. He's not kind of what's the word there? Excluded from criticism as such. He's had bad games. Everyone has it. Even Sober's had a few poor games this year. Everyone has. But Gakpo's one of the guys actually hitting the back of the net at times. And I don't believe other players are. I certainly think he's been better than Wirtz this year, and that's not even nearly close. Not even nearly close, is it? Same with Isak, not even nearly close. I think Gakpo's been better than Salah this year. Chiesa's, it's a tough one to rank because he's played half the minutes, you know what I mean? I think he needs to play more. In my team, I play a 4-3-3. I play Gakpo for the left, an actual left winger. If you look at the Man City game, we were awful. I get that. Wirtz started off the left there. There were a time where Robertson had a throw in against Man City, and Wirtz were hardly on my screen. You were fat up the far right corner of the pitch. It's like, I get you playing this free role, and we're getting you in this team off the left in the left half space, but you've got to offer some sort of outlet on the left hand side. When Gakpo came on, did we look a better team? Probably not really, but we looked a bit more of a structured team. You could actually tell who were kind of, in which position vaguely. At least Gakpo was off the left, was holding a bit of width. Came off the pitch with White underside his boot, you know what I mean? Sideline, sorry. So I believe he's a very useful asset. I do get he's one-dimensional. However, I think he offers a lot to this team. You're right here. I think you're right about this. I think people expect Gakpo to kind of be what Diaz was and what Mane was before. It's like when Mane set the tone there, very high. Like, to be fair, Coutinho set the tone, and you can go back to whoever. But say Mane, right? Mane was electric under Klopp. Then he leaves. Diaz comes in. Diaz does a great job for me in replacing him. It's very hard to replace Sadio Mane, certainly in his prime. Diaz did a decent job. Then to replace Diaz, a player, look at what he's doing now at Bayern Munich. It's like, what the hell? He's on the form of his life. Gakpo's now got to replace him, filling them shoes. People expect him to be that. But arguably, you can make a great argument there for since Mane we've gone like this in terms of that left winger role. Not that it's bad, not that it's like that. It's more of that kind of slope in my opinion. But I do believe Gakpo's a worse player than Mane. I think everyone would agree with that. I think Gakpo's probably a weaker player than Diaz, in my opinion. If we had Diaz in our team now, I know it's easy to say this given Diaz is scoring every week for Bayern, but I would start Luis Diaz. Go back to all my videos when Diaz was rumoured to leave. I was like, you're joking. Don't leave. Better player than Gakpo, in my opinion. He's certainly more varied. And that's the main criticism Gakpo gets. He's too one-dimensional, but Diaz can go inside and out. Diaz can take a player on with, maybe not skill, but certainly pace. I think you could definitely argue that Gakpo's worse off the ball than Diaz. I don't think that's a real argument, right? I think pace is a big role in this. Obviously, if you're faster, like simply put, you can cover more ground, and you're more kind of, I guess you're more back in your ability to go from A to B, whereas Gakpo's maybe got to split more times than Diaz would have had to. Diaz was such a nuisance. He'd play 90 minutes, he'd be on the front foot, he'd be all the time winning the ball at right back and then going to left wing, and it's like, well, wow. So energetic, so lively, such a live wire. Gakpo, I'm not doubting his energy and his work rate here, but he's not what Diaz was, in my opinion. Gakpo's, for me, better in a, I guess, not a low block, we don't do that, but I think his assets, his attributes, that kind of strength he has, the physicality, the size, the frame of him, maybe suits being more compact and just sitting in front of the left winger and holding at times, maybe not pressing all the time, not being gung-ho, because I think at times he's been pulled out, different to Diaz. Even Nunes, right? We criticise Nunes because he missed his chances and run offside, so many big chances he missed. But he were a proper runner. Again, not that Ekitike or Isak isn't. But Nunes, like, my God, he was just so aggressive, so tenacious. And again, Ekitike is, but Nunes really offered some sort of kind of aggression there. I think Ekitike is I love him. He's been great. Maybe more passive than Nunes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think when you lose a bit of bite from not just Nunes, but also Diaz, you combine that with Salah looking a bit more leggy than we've seen. Certainly, maybe not leggy, but certainly... mate, stop spamming. You bloody idiot. I've timed you out, mate. Unlucky. Salah looking a bit less sharp than he used to, or last year, certainly. What do I know? They're my thoughts, though. I think, to summarise, I don't want to keep you all day here. If you are on the TikTok stream, you can watch this whole thing again. I'm going to post it as a video straight away. We've spoken about the formation. I'd go 4-3-3. My final team, I said it before, would be Mamadashvili right now. Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, or Jones, either or. I'd Gakpo off the left. I'd have Ekitike up front, and I'd have Salah or Chiesa off the right. Right now for me is Chiesa. I don't think we can get any worse. That's the team I would play. I've spoken about the long balls. I think it counteracts the long balls. It counteracts the counter-attacks, if you like, that kind of tendency to give the ball up in the middle or give the ball up on the wings and then they just play one ball over the top on the break and the score. I think we need to be first ball, second ball, certainly. Second balls are so noticeable. Back post, we're not good enough. Set pieces, we're not good enough. We're not scoring enough. Szoboszlai's been our best player by miles. Ekitike, Gakpo have been really good for me. Jones, McAllister, certainly Jones have been really good. McAllister had 2 really good games. Fullback hasn't been good enough. Salah's not been good enough. Ekitike has been fantastic. It's like, there's so many kind of simple points you can make here. Ultimately going round in circles. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Please do get involved in the comment section. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. Obviously, international break, right? So there'll be less videos, getting us through. On my Instagram story, there is a post saying, give me your unpopular Liverpool opinions. You can also go on my community tab on YouTube. Let me know your unpopular opinion. I'm going to go through them all, or most of them, and react to them in a video. So please do leave your thoughts in the community tab or on my Instagram story, George Scaife LFC, and you can have your say. Get involved. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.